All right, what up, guys? All right, so let's get back into basically coding with AI and building basically web pages with it. Troy just asked, how is my client doing? It's his birthday today, and he basically, over this last few days, he basically sent me a page, and he said, hey, man, like, I absolutely love this sales page that Russell Brunson built. However, we want to build it into ours, okay? And so essentially they said, here's this page. They love that you could come to here. It's super simple, has their like information at the top, a little like step-by-step of how to get started. And so this is like a little step-by-step. You can see it's interactive. So as soon as you click, it goes to the next step, and it has this little progress bar, right? So like, it's literally a progress step-by-step. Well, that's interactive. Most website builders don't necessarily have this. Okay, so he wanted this exact site. So what did we do? Right? So we literally we took the HTML. So what I did is I right-click this and I said inspect, right? And what you'll notice is this actually inspects and shows this entire like code, right? So you can actually see the code in this actual for this web page. Well, what I did is I right-clicked the code and I hit copy, and you could copy what says outer HTML. All right, so I literally copied the outer HTML, which is basically all the code for the website, and I pasted it into my AI team. Right, and here's what we have. Right, I literally have set up your first AI custom trained bot. Right, follow these steps. Right, so step one, we have our step one, just like he has step one. And then when you hit here, if I refresh this, so it's a brand new one. This is going to be their onboarding process for the client. So he has another developer, and he asked the developer, how long would this page take him? The developer quoted him that this page would take him about maybe 4 to 5 days with 2 developers on staff. All right, building out just this page. All right, I ended up completing this page in probably less than 20-30 minutes. Right, so we recorded the video. I have to add the video here shortly. Right, and then basically you hit start setup after you watch the video. Then there's a little video on how to use ChatBridge and how to get your API key from OpenAI. Right, Austin just a few minutes ago was talking about his API key and how to get it from OpenAI. This is literally a video, and then they insert in their API key here. Right, after they inserted their API key, they hit save. Right, it hits saves. This saves to the database. I'm saving from the front end of my AI team into Bubbles database. Okay, so I'm literally saving their API key through this process, and then they hear, great job, you completed the onboarding process. And then they can hit celebrate. It says set up on the left-hand side to create a bot, and then they hit celebrate. And now here's what's really cool. Now we have a Calendly. So they have an onboarding process because they're going to upsell the user into other products. All right, so right now I have a little placeholder for a Calendly, calendar, so they can actually book a demo call, and then they're going to get on the phone. They're going to get offered their one-on-one services, get offered the custom services, everything on the phone. So for us, this product is what I've been walking them through and showing them. This product is actually a giant paid lead magnet. Okay, they're going to charge people $47 to $67 a month to get access to this software. Once they get access, they're literally inserting their own API key, so it doesn't charge the company that I'm building this for. It charges directly the user for every single time they hit generate. All right, like that's the cost of the software. So here's what's really cool is this software at the end of it is almost going to have zero cost besides $32 a month that the user has to pay for Bubble. Like absolutely no other cost, and it's a full AI custom bot training thing, okay? And then they have congratulations, then they go into here, like I said, and then they do their free onboarding call, okay? So this is that whole little process, and you can see after then they go into the Chatbots Bridge Creator, then next they go into the chat, and literally in a second, they're able to chat with the actual assistants. Here's what's really cool is this is where I've got with the assistants for this client is I'm able to come here and I'm able to chat, with my assistant after I create it, and I could say who owns this business, and this entire thread.
Doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work at all. So let's see. Let me make an update on the second conversation. Let's see. Let's see if this one it works. Right? Who owns this business? Boom. All right. And here's what's really cool. The client actually asked. He was on a call with me, and he said, "Hey, like, can we add search? Because if you realize that there's no search in this, right? Like, if you have a past thread, like a past chat, there's no way to like re-continue the conversation. But it also doesn't show. Well, what happens if there's a message that you lost? Well, here's what's really crazy. He asked if I could add search into this, and I was like, yeah, that's probably going to take like a week or so. And he's like, oh, it's a week? Yeah, I don't know if it's that important to launch. And I'm like, oh, I'm just joking. And then I literally I added it right in front of him. And now check this out. These are the past threads, right? And you can see I added a little preview text so you could see like the history of the message. Okay. But now check out this. This is the coolest thing. If I type right here and I type in Lauren, you see how fast it returned the search result of Lauren? This is a thread that it started 2 days ago, and it has the result of Lauren. And it puts the result in the display right here. So if I type in Jeff, it instantly displays and pulls back all the results with Jeff in the preview, and then I could click and I could continue the conversation right there. Like, if
that's great. I think ChatGPT or whatever it just uses the first few words to name the thread. Can we change or create the name of the thread so that if we want all of them that are particular to a certain project, we could just put the project name that way so that we don't have to search through the small text underneath?
I think we lost Jeff.
Nope. So instantly saves. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm literally going to say, can you make it so I can update the thread names, please? And it instantly saves. And I'm going to hit send. And now I'm going to, I don't know if this is going to 100% work, because sometimes when you get to this level of like, I've been going back and forth. I'm like at 500 lines of code, but sometimes you have to like, hey, this is where you got to save to and all this stuff. But we'll see if it does all that for us. And then it will actually make it where it saves the threads. Right.
Yeah.
So, and now we could actually save the threads in a few minutes. I might have to make an endpoint behind the scenes to update and edit. But I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I figured you could do it at some point. It's something that I know, when you think down the road after using it for months or years, or, you want to be able to just like, an email folder or that sort of thing to be able to kind of compartmentalize and organize those things by specific names of people or projects.
That's really smart. I'm actually going to write down folders, and then make it where you could input these into folders also. And then there's a little folder, like, add to folder right here or something like that,
Yeah. So we should be Jeff and Troy 2024, Jeff and Troy 2025, and then all those conversations in that year or particular to a certain project or software would all be lumped into one. Because I think about it in many ways. Also, if you're using the AI chat, you get those conversations. They may be related, but you can't really have them in the same, because it would throw off kind of the flow of the thought in one. So they all kind of relate. So I think, yeah, folder would be great.
Yeah. All right. So look, I just made it where I could add and update the threads.
There you go.
Right. And so you could just simply click on them and add, and edit the name.
Yeah.
And then it instantly saves. It does say error edited updating thread name. Please try again. So my guess is I have to make it where the back end basically updates. However, I love that idea to be able to simply update the threads just in case you have you need to find something. So I think that's great. So I'm going to do threads and I'm going to add folders.
What about archiving them?
Like saving and deleting?
But like archive in case you need to pull it up later somehow.
Yeah, sometimes that's the quickest and easiest way I've found. You just to get, it's like cleaning off a cluttered desk, right? You're like, I'm just going to archive this. I don't want to throw it away, but let me deal with this later and let me just find the most
you
important
just
thing.
want to store it for so long. just in case
Yeah,
of a
folder would do that as well, but yeah.
future issue that may come up.
Yeah. Okay, I like that idea. Yeah. Yeah, and so we'll add that soon too. I mean, I think the archive and the folder ideas would be phenomenal, and so I think that would greatly help.
Because if you can sort it by different things, categories or projects or person or whatever.
Or even, I mean, it's not to, I mean, I get for you because I use it a lot, but like Gmail has where you could star something. I mean, that could help. And sometimes when you're just like, okay, but we don't have to duplicate that. It's just another idea because that's what I use.
I mean, you could do it like in a folder too, like you say.
Yeah.
You want to save something because it's like, oh, I might run into this again. Let me save this into this category. Frequently asked questions.
Yeah, that's really smart. I definitely love that idea.
Sweet.
Yeah. So here's what's cool is, I mean, this client is basically like, I mean, my goal, so this is where the onboarding is so important. My goal isn't, it's crazy. The client is actually asking for more features. However, my job is to make sure they stay on track and we get this launched to get customers and users. As of right now, this very second, you could come in here and set up a bot, scrape and crawl any website and get the knowledge from that and store it into the AI. That alone, and then chat with it in a few seconds. Well, that alone is a phenomenal product. You don't have to add more. They don't have to add voice. They don't have to add calling. They don't have to add all this other stuff. It's a simple, we took two things, which is crawl and scrape. We took the crawl and scrape, the website scraper, and we put it with the AI and combined it into one single software. That's it. That's the whole software. And so if you guys have two ideas of how can I take two little things, right? It might be music and the music visualizer, right? That's taking music visualizer, like a video aspect, and putting it with your MP3s, and you create a new video, right? That's combining stuff, right? Well, imagine streaming that. Oh, look, we have a nice folder. Look at this. Boom. We have a little folder, and we could say marketing. Dude, I love how fast this stuff is. And now we have marketing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Move to folder. Like, that is so helpful. That is way crazy. Like, super, super helpful. So I definitely dig this. That still works. That's cool. So move to folder. Let's see. So can you add the move to folder, the move to folder inside the main chat window?
What about, Jeff? Is it possible? Because I don't think I've seen a software yet. Possible to interact. So have assistants interact with each other.
Like have them talk to each other, essentially.
Yeah. So let's say you wanted to create a marketing assistant, a sales assistant, and you wanted them to contact or like collaborate with each other, have that ability.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to do something like that, the kind of cool thing is this software, the idea is a chat bridge. So the idea is to take your content and be able to bridge it and be able to chat with it, but also to be able to deploy it. So if I go into the little manage bots, I don't think I have this one. However, whenever we have the manage bots, we're able to actually like click the modify, and you're able to see all the code that you need to be able to plug this bot into another software.
That's awesome.
So if you do want to essentially connect all of them, you could do it like that. So I'll go down to here, users, you run as one of these. So then you can kind of see what it looks like. So if I go to manage bots, so you see how we have all these bots here? Well, if I hit view details, this gives me all the code to be able to connect into like this bot into another bot. So if you
That's
wanted
awesome.
to, you could essentially copy this and create another software that connects and talks to them. And then it's now like this one, hey, you're talking to this one, you're talking to this one, and then you guys all build a total project, you know? And that's like getting into agents, you know? And so that'd be cool to see where the software goes. However, getting it to where we could accept users, onboard the client, and do the basic functionality of something. Okay.
Right.
Adding the features and adding all the other stuff, that's next. We want to make sure that we could get the customers in the door with our MVP. MVP doesn't mean, hey, I created the functionality and the functionality works. MVP means I could get users, they could sign up to my product, they could try my product and give me feedback, and they could pay for it if they want to stick, right? So that means like all of that needs to be set up for your MVP to be created. If you start adding feature 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 before you add the ability to people to purchase your product, you're going to run out of money before you have all these great, amazing ideas to get your software launched, right? Like sometimes keep it super, super simple and just make it where people could like do 1 or 2 things. Like that's why I put 1, 2, 3. When they handed me the software, this is what they handed me. It was like add bot recipe from bot, search clients. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like this needs to be way simple. 1, 2, 3, like they're no more confusing, you know? And so keep it super simple. See what this looks like, right? So I have my.
I love that you think like that, because that's from what I've seen and experienced working with people is that are creatives or on the edge, is that it's a never-ending project when you really need to have, you know, do it in stages, make it simple, then do the next level. Otherwise, it's never ending. So yeah, I 100% agree, and I'm so glad you're saying that.
Yes. So we got this, we got these past threads. These things are nice. I love this folder system. This is cool. Yeah, absolutely. Like you definitely want to make it where you're actually like launching, because like I said, my biggest software development failure so far, it was actually attached to my largest win, which means I had a client that was paying me $15,000 a month for 10 months, which is awesome. Amazing. That's a lot of money for Jeff. However, the failure came because the software actually never got launched. The company ended up getting fraud in one of their accounts for one of their like payment processors and ended up not having enough money to like pay me anymore. Like, however, if the software would have launched, and it's not like I wasn't working on it. Me and Callan, right? It's Callan's birthday today, right? Callan and I were working on that thing every freaking day, 6-7 hours a day, and like just like you guys are on right now on Zoom, right? Just like this, working day in. I'd be working, he'd be working. But the thing was, we were building in Bubble, and Bubble is a no-code development platform, and it's faster than normal traditional code. And so we were like, he was impressed with how fast we were working. So that's why he kept paying the invoice, because we're doing great. We're kicking butt. We're still faster than traditional development. However, the software that he had to set up was just massive. It was scraping multiple websites. It was returning data from all those sites, and it was displaying all of that data in one location. Something like that takes so much time to set up every little line in the software. If you guys see how fast I just implemented a folder system, which he had a folder system also, took me weeks in his folder system. Weeks. I'm over here creating it in a few seconds, right? And I could literally see the folders. I could see all the threads. Like this is so
insane.
cool.
Yeah.
Like, in a few seconds, I could have all this, move to folder, move. I could see all my past threads. I could go back to my past threads if I need to with this. Like that is super helpful. Like this is a really cool folder system. And like, it took us a few seconds to add, you know? And so I feel that there's definitely something to this. If I was building just that little feature in Bubble and he said, hey, I want folders, All right. Well, I have to build the folders to be able to make it where you could save the folder, make it where you could save the threads, keep a history of all the threads. Like, there's just a lot going on in that second. It's not just as easy as make a folder. However, when I just chatted with this in a few seconds live, and I added how many more lines of code? I added 116 more lines of code in a few seconds, and I didn't type a single word other than telling the instructions.
This is me thinking outside the box and not knowing anything about Bubble for the most part. But let's say you code all this here. Can you place it into Bubble? Does Bubble give you any suggestions, or do they have templates? So maybe like you know, Juliet and I brought up a couple of ideas. Does Bubble suggest things as you're building? And if not, I mean, because that could be cool. Could you build it in my AI team, throw it into Bubble, see, maybe it knows some things you're not thinking of. Maybe they have an AI suggester built in, or they're going to do that, and then you know, put it back into my AI team. So is there a way to maybe take advantage of Bubble and its in-depth intricacies, but keep the simplicity of my AI team?
Yes. Okay, now check out what we're doing. Okay. So if you notice inside this software, I'm actually, if I click this chat, you see how I'm not leaving the software? I'm not leaving this page. Like, there's no loading happening. There's nothing. It's instant. You know what I mean? Well, if you guys look inside my AI team, it does the same thing, right? If you click on one of the little tabs, it goes to the new thing, right? I'm not loading another page. I'm not taking you somewhere else. I'm not doing any of that. It instantly, right inside this software, looks like you're just changing tabs, right? Well, if you actually see behind the scenes what's happening, okay? Inside Bubble, this is on your left-hand side, you have your design elements, okay? So this is the design tab, and you have your elements. So I have a main container. My main container is essentially this giant empty block, right? So there's a little hidden block here that you can't really see, but it contains all of everything. I have my sidebar and I have my main container. That's it. That's all this software is, okay? Well, in the main container, check out what I have. I have other pages. So this is the dashboard, this is the storage, this is the chat bot, this is the chat setup, and this is the chat. Well, if I hit the chat, does this look familiar? Where is it? Where to go? All right, if I hit the chats, let's see. All right, if I hit the bot setup, right, does this look familiar? Well, yeah. The bot setup is just the chat bridge that we coded in my AI team. Right. That's it. Well, now check this out. You see how we have this little site thing right here? Well, let me show you exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to go here to view code, and I'm going to hit copy code, and I'm going to go into Bubble. And right now I have this empty group because it's called group onboarding. I actually haven't put anything in it. It's actually an empty group. So there's nothing inside. Well, here's what I'm going to do. Inside this group, I'm going to drag the HTML in there. That's all I did. I added an HTML widget inside this group. That's it. Magic. Okay. I'm going to hit the layout because I want to adjust it. I don't want it to be a fixed width, right? We could adjust the whole height. And now it says edit me. All right. And I'm going to simply paste the entire thing that I got from over on the other side. Okay. And I'm going to paste it right there. And now I literally just pasted it into here. All right. Well, if we go into preview now, well, guess what? If I hit preview, the very first one is the dashboard. I haven't fixed it. But look, now we instantly, look, Rick Astley.
It's so funny because Rick Astley, I forget what I was searching the other day, and I don't know if they have some hack, but he popped up every time I tried to do something. I was like, what?
So there's an internet joke. It goes back from a long time ago, but it's called Rick Rolled. And it's all about getting people to like play this song, and it's a joke, you know, it's just an internal like gotcha, you know what I mean? So it's quite funny. But so the AI Rick Rolled, so that's pretty funny. All right. But you could see I embedded my AI team, the software, this code right here, instantly into Bubble just now. Like right in front of you guys, like literally instantly embedded this entire thing. And now this whole little thing works. Now we have this little like chat bridge builder bot thing in here. Okay. Well,
so
that's all I do.
You have this in Bubble. and you're pasting the site you built, because obviously if you build the stuff in my AI team, like I'm thinking you're saving it to these folders, but it's not really saving it anywhere, right? Like, but if you move it over here, it is.
Yep. So now if we look at this code, check out what I'm doing. If I go into the chat, into like hide this and go to the chat one, inside, or the bot setup one, right? Or let's see which one it is, right? So maybe it's this chat bot. So if I go into the HTML for this one, well, if we scroll down, some of these I'm actually passing in the chat bot like code. I'm passing in the user's data. So you see right here, if I to this little blue over here, it says constant API key. So this is the API key, and then it says current user's open API key. I'm literally from the database of Bubble passing in the API key to the front end.
And that's why you're using Bubble,
That's why I'm using Bubble.
right? And then basically you just set up a frame through Bubble, but the site is all on my AI.
Otherwise, you'd have to set up like a database on a regular web hosting.
Yep.
Right.
But now here's the thing. Bubble has three things, right? Three things in software development. Bubble has all three of them. The design tab, which is the one up here in the top left. Then they have the workflows. So what actually happens when you press the button, that's what the workflows are. Here's the cool thing. Most of it, AI is coding me in the front end and the workflows now. But I just need one more thing, which is this third tab, which is data. If you guys don't know what data is, right here, right? This is the little test data, right? These are our little test users right now, right? You can see all data is a giant spreadsheet, right? You can see this says email. This is the email. This says agency. This is the agency. This says avatar. This is the avatar. It's just in a giant Excel sheet, and that's what data is. Okay. So if you're ever wondering, like, what is data? What do you mean when you save data? All that is there's a giant Excel sheet with a whole bunch of information in all the columns, right? This is my user data, right? It has the email, agency, avatar, business, first name, indicator, last name, open AI key, all that stuff. I'm saving it all. Inside here, if I go into the back end of the workflows, I could choose to save that data. So here's what's cool. Inside Bubble, they have something called back-end workflows. Well, back-end workflows open up the database, open up the back end so you could actually send information to and from Bubble back here. So this right here where it says add thread, look at it, says create thread, which I'm creating the thread. Here's all my thread information, which is my assistant ID, my ID, and my user ID. And then I return the data, which just says success. Well, that right there is basically my front end, this assistant. Whenever you chat right here, it calls this thread that says add thread, creates the new thread, then says success, you created a new thread. That's what that does every single time you type a new chat. So I'm saving. The only thing I'm doing right now in this entire software as far as data is I'm saving the user information and I'm saving the threads so they can return back to previous conversations. That's it. That's all I'm doing inside Bubble with this whole entire software. Everything else is custom coded on the front end. Everything.
Looks like Isaac has a question.
What you got, Isaac?
Mine is not related to this. It's you can wait till the end. It's yeah, so I don't want to bother you guys. Sorry.
All right, so yeah, I mean, essentially this whole little process, my thought when I first saw the code snippets, at first the challenge was, everyone said, could this actually build full software? Well, this is what I'm proving right now, that yes, it actually could build full software. Not like, oh, this is cute, this is a code snippet, and we have a little cute music visualizer that doesn't have logins, there's nothing fancy. Like, this is a full-blown saving software, managing data, keeping privacy account access only. Like, every single thing that somebody would like actually need for a full software client, this does in seconds. Like,
Congratulations. It's awesome. It's freaking epic.
So now here's kind of the thing that I just posted on my social media the other day. Yes, or last night. I believe these classes are probably the absolute best place that you could get knowledge from me as of right now. Like, because I just don't have anywhere else that I'm putting out knowledge on a regular basis. And I'm probably the main one that's in this every day, playing around, building software, doing other stuff, like, because it's my software. Obviously, I built it, right? Well, the next thing is, how can I make it where you guys could build a software the same way, as fast, done? So my thought is, I'm going to start opening up maybe like every other month or every other third month or something, or maybe only in the fall, who knows? But I'm going to start having classes here in Vegas. And basically, essentially, that class, you're going to come down for 2 days. You go find a place to stay by yourself and pay for your own food, right? Like a grown up. And the second part is, but we are going to hang out for 7 to 8 hours that day for 2 days, maybe a third day if, for some extra people, right? But 2 days. And literally that entire time, build a software, start to finish. Like, show up with an idea and leave with the ability to have a customer that day. That is the goal. Like, the first day, here's how you build your software. Sit down in a group of 10, and we're all in a room, and you're like, hey, I'm stuck. How do I do this? And then I boom, 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 and I show you. And then you go to the next part. And then you go to the next part. Then we break for lunch. Then we build the next part. Then we build the next part. We connect it. We add it to Bubble, or you add it to Aspire Builder, or you connect it into your Go High level, whatever the case is. We set up the software and we build it. Then from there, we set up the sales page on day 2. Day 1, the whole entire time, we're doing pre-promotion, how to market, how to get leads on your social media, how to get people to say yes before you even build it. And then on day 2, we're actually sending out the checkout link to those people that we warmed up and got ready from yesterday. And they're going to use your software. They're going to test it on day 2. And it sounds crazy. It sounds audacious that, holy cow, you could launch a software in 2 days. But when you see how fast I'm building this, most of the time I'm sitting here and I'm literally just like you guys, I'm waiting for the magic bar to load. I'm not doing anything. I'm literally, I have ideas and I'm like, oh man, I wanted to do this, but it's loading. So I pre-type out my question. And as soon as it's done, I hit it again. Ooh, and I'm just sitting there waiting back and forth over time. But the software is dang near done. So most of the time I have 2 windows up and I'm bouncing back and forth building 2 software pages at once. And I know that if somebody shows up and you're in the office and you're hanging out for 7 hours that day and 7 hours the next day, you're going to leave knowing how to build this full software. You're going to leave knowing this is how I do this. This is how I take on clients. This is how I get the sale for this, the whole entire process. And so I don't know the exact date yet. I want to make sure that I have 10, 100%. Like, I don't want to do 9. I want to do 10. You know what I mean? Like 10 people, minimum, super intimate class, 420 friendly, it's going to be a whole freaking day building. You know what I mean? Like, it is. So that is kind of like my thoughts. Fun times in Vegas, hang out for a weekend, build software.
I love it.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. And then I feel like we could do a lot with that. I could record it. There's just so much, you know what I mean? So before I do it, there's 2 things that I personally want to do. One, I want to make sure this software client launches and gets users and makes over the amount of money that they paid me. Right? They paid me $3,000 so far this first month. That was because I was feeling low and charged them ridiculously cheap, right? And after this, it's 5K, 10K plus, right? So the next one is I want to take another 5K client on and get their software up and running, right? And so the entire time that I've been building this client software, I've been documenting the entire process. How I'm talking to the client, how I'm managing the client's expectations, because I'm building it fast. Well, guess what? The client now he starts to expect things fast. He literally asked me for a feature and said, could you have it done in 2 days? No, absolutely not. I don't work on the weekends. I'm sleeping. And I told him that. And you have to lay your foot down. Just because you can build it fast doesn't mean they need to put pressure on you to build it fast, right? Like, it's a bonus that I delivered as fast as it is. Because if you go anywhere else in the software market, good luck building anything like this in less than 6 months. Good luck. You could have paid $1,000 a month and it would still cost you more. Plus the time. You know what I mean? I'm getting this whole thing done. He's about ready to launch. They weren't even expecting to launch it until October. And I'm going to have them launch in 3 weeks. Customers in 3 weeks. I'm teaching them the sales part. And they just had an idea for the software. And so I understand that in order for these softwares to be successful, you have to get users. Day one, you have to get user feedback. You have to get somebody that says, this is worth my money, take it. Or here's my money, but then give me my money back because it wasn't worth it for this reason, and this reason. And then we could fix it. You have to have that user customer feedback. If you keep adding features and features and features and features, you'll never see the light of day. It's more important to get one feature out and one customer than it is to get 2 features out or 5 features out. Focus on one feature and one customer first. That's it. And that is what I could feel like we could accomplish in a 2-day window. 3 days if we're like pushing it, but I feel like we don't need a 3rd day. 2 days are absolutely fantastic. Super easy to launch software like that. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to wait until I have full 10 people of like, hey, I'm guaranteed going to go up. And this is the plan. And then we're going to have the class. We do want to make it. It's like 115 here in Vegas still. Guys, no joke. My freaking AC caught fire 2 days ago. Like, I went on the side of my house and it was on fire.
Holy shit.
The same AC that we just got fixed that caused all the power issues, like literally on fire. I was like trying to put it out. Like, do I put water on it? Like, it's electrical. Like, oh my God. Like, it was wild.
Did you call the fire department?
Yeah. I was running around like I had my head chopped off. But I mean, yeah, I think my house is gonna burn down because of this thing. So, like, we're gonna make it where it calms down a little bit before we freak everybody out. And so that is the idea. So yeah. But it's been wild. Yeah, I was straight on fire. Like, like ah!
Wow.
How does that happen? Yeah. Yeah. Wild stuff. This is an old house. This house is like from like, we live in the it's like a medical district in Vegas. You know, it's like an old medical district where the doctors in Vegas. Well, like, the houses are like 70, 80 years old. The wiring and the everything, you know, like our AC is that old too. So, I mean, yeah. Good old house. But yeah. So yeah, so I'm gonna open up that soon. Hope to see you guys here if anyone decides to come out. Like I said, 10 spots, no pressure for anybody. I believe this is the next best place to get training from me, is in these schools.
It's like so cheap, and you can learn. I mean, Isaac, how much were those schools you were looking at? Probably a lot more than $7 a month, right?
Yeah. Well, like for example, one the UCI, University of California in Irvine, they have a 12-week program, and it was $15,000 for 12 weeks. And I'm like, thanks.
Yeah, I'll just
and that's pretty low. I've seen way more than that.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah. Okay. Now, as I gear up for this, is there anything? So here's my thought. These classes, you guys see how this one was a little less structured than Tuesday, right? Tuesday, I want to make Tuesday where they're actually like, in the future, those are going to be my high-end course. Like, I'm going to sell all those Tuesday classes for like $1,000 to $2,000 plus. Yeah, right. But I need to know the proper steps, because if you guys don't get launched for your $7, Nobody, it's not even worth 2,000. You know what I mean? Like, I need that thing to be able to say, look at these students watched my training, and look at Juliet made $10,000. Right? Troy launched this software. He's never launched software before, and he's made $15,000 in his first 2 months. Right? He's going to go to college. Isaac now has a $15,000 a month paying client. You know what I mean? Like, those are the wins that I need on my wall to make sure that this is worth it. Because I know that those are the type of wins. I mean, like, it's life-changing money when all of a sudden you have all your bills paid, and then it's like, oh man, like, I got another client and I don't need the money. It's different. And the only reason I know it is because I grew up freaking broke, super poor, and this was the first year that I ever had to pay taxes in my entire life. And it seems like they want all the money back that I ever made in 1 year. Like, Jesus. Like, my accountant is really excited. However, I am not. You know, like, wow, you made more money than you ever made. The heck, man. My taxes is a lot. I got to figure that all out. Right? So the solution is,
and it shouldn't be
I bet Donald Trump and them still make more money. There's taxes. This is stupid. I'm not going to complain about my taxes, but I have to figure it out. You know what I mean?
I know. Their accountants are way smarter than ours.
Yeah, I don't see the government coming anytime soon to be able to, like, not pay. I was really riding on
funnel
that.
everything through like a business, like
like you said, it wasn't done right.
and they file bankruptcy, or I don't know.
Yeah, so building software for yourself and then for clients, absolutely fantastic. So we're gonna have these classes. As it gets closer, I'll let you guys know the dates. Like I said, we're only going to take 10. I am selling the seats. It's $1,000 per one. And like I said, you take care of your own room and your own board. You do that by yourself. And then one of the nights we'll go out to sushi. Altogether. And then I'll pay for the sushi day.
It's not applicable. It's like even art check.
Yep. So yeah. Is there anything else that you guys want to learn next Tuesday?
I have a quick question. So I'm building a data grouping tool for my task at work that takes me hours, and I have to work overtime. My thing is, okay, so I see the code on my AI team. At work, I'm not a developer, or at least I'm not in that category yet. And so I'm limited on what tools I can use as far as like platforms. I do have access to Notepad++. Do you think that's something that I could copy the code from and paste it in there and then run it through Notepad++ and see if it works? Or is there should I get like my what is it? What are the platforms you have up right now?
By the way, it's kind of hard to hear you over the TV.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yep, that's great. So you're saying is you guys don't have like a Visual Code Studio type thing to run it, like a place code, or
at least I don't.
Okay.
I would have to probably talk to my manager to see if I could even get that.
Okay.
Would it work, Jeff, if he saved it as like a local HTML file from Notepad++ and then just run that HTML file locally? Will that work?
Yeah, absolutely. That HTML file locally would work. Yeah, so you could do exactly what Juliet said. Use the HTML and then open it in HTML locally. You know,
Yeah, just name the extension .html instead of .text.
Okay.
So inside, whenever you hit view code, there's a download file button. You see that?
Yeah.
If you hit download file, it downloads as an index.html file.
Right.
If you open that index.html file in your computer, it will open almost like a web page that's locally on your computer. It's not on the internet actually, you know, but it's locally. And then you could use that as it was a web page.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's all I need.
I mean, try it and let us know.
Now
Yeah,
you
I
can
know.
build your
Like
home and works.
my insurance broker, like a bunch of them, like super lockdown. Like I can't install anything. I can't even plug in
Right.
USB drives. Like you can't do shit.
Same. Right. Same.
Yeah, that'd be cool to run scripts. Be like, ooh, what's this?
Yeah,
Let me have all this info.
they don't like you when you try to do things like that.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's awesome. So yeah, use that little download file and then download the HTML. I think one of the next classes that I'm going to do, I think on Tuesday we're going to all set up the website scraper API.
That's awesome.
Okay. And what we're going to do with that is I'm going to give you guys the code, and then I'm going to show you guys how to add that code to your server on your cPanel server. Okay. And right now that might sound a little confusing. However, what that's going to do is just like this little chat bridge software, right? Well, like this entire software, I mean, like it's, if you guys didn't know, I have a website. It's called websitescraperapi.com. Okay. It's an entire code, right? Easy to use API, crawl and scrape your website, right? This entire code, believe it or not, was written by AI. I sell this code for $27 a month just for access to use the code. That means all it does is crawl and scrape a website. They don't get the code. They don't own the code. They just access the code for $27 a month. I have a few, like 10 to 20 consistent customers with this thing right now that just pay monthly. And it doesn't cost me a dime to run or host, right? So if you guys can see, but it gives you the ability to crawl a website, get all the page links, and then scrape a website and get all the text and the images and the HTML. So what I want to do is, that is a script. It's a Python script and a PHP script for both of those, okay? I want to make it where you guys can put that script on your own server and then build that into your own softwares. And then you can sell it as your own product. Okay. Like I sell it, you should sell it. Like you don't have to sell it, but just knowing how to set this up and put Python scripts and PHP scripts onto your own server is going to unlock so much for you. Like that makes it where you could put stuff in the back end. That makes it where you could do like processing for videos or images and all this technical stuff that you need in the long term. It's going to be another toolkit. You might not need it this week, but in a month, you might be like, oh man, I need this. Where's the video? I'm going to watch the replay. All right. So on Tuesday, we're setting up the website scraper and the cPanel. And like I said, like these classes are going to be my future like course. That little scripts I've already sold for $500 just for the code. The one I'm going to be giving you guys on Tuesday, just for the code. The same code that I'm going to walk you guys through and help set up. I sold the instructions on how to set that up for an extra $500. Hey, if you want me to come coach you on how to set this up, like here's the script, $400. It's all yours, bro. Go set it up. Do you want me to show you how to set it up? Extra $500. That guy paid the invoice. Dude, yeah, please. And then I showed him how to set it up. I set it up on his server just the same way I'm going to show you guys, right? So I've already sold that as a product. Now it's to show you guys how to set it up so you could, one, use it in your own software, two, sell that to somebody else. In the meantime, find, hey, does anyone need a website scraped and crawled or a software built around that? That might be a customer for you before in that time. So start thinking about those. Like Troy, you're in the real estate agent in industry. That data for real estate, we could scrape real estate data. We could scrape Zillow and pull back all that information, and you could make it where it could send to their CRM with one button. Send the owner's information to this software. And then it sends to the CRM, and it sends them postcards and emails them and calls them on Tuesday, right? Like you could build a software that does all that. Right. So it's like just knowing how to set these things up and where to put them. That's 90% of coding, right? Like I just want to give you guys these toolboxes, just like I gave you guys Aspire Builder. Aspire Builder is a tool for certain uses. Bubble is a tool for certain uses. Sometimes you don't need Bubble. Sometimes you don't need Aspire Builder. Sometimes you need a server and you need a way to sell that. I'm going to show you guys how to be able to do that on Tuesday. Okay. So don't miss that class. Make sure you guys are there. Like I said, these classes are going to be the future, like step-by-step course. So I'm teaching you guys live, but I also need you guys from you guys to take the information and implement it. And the win is not to say, Jeff, I got it set up on my own computer. That's not the win. The win is saying, Jeff, I got my first customer. Here's the Stripe invoice to prove it. Okay? That's the win.
But you're gonna miss it.
Even if it's a single dollar, hang that freaking thing up on your wall. The number one thing that I've learned in marketing, if you tell people that you succeeded, you'll succeed even more. So all of a sudden it's like, I just got my first sale to my new software. Everyone's going to say, what software? I want to be the second. You see how easy that is? Boom. I just got another user. I just got another user. 10 users this week. The social proof adds up, and then people are just buying because everybody else is buying. Okay, so that's the process. However, the win is getting a customer as fast as you can. Getting it as a customer, I'm telling you, like, there's a lot of developers out there. Developers, I want to say, almost are a dime a dozen. AI can code up a software in seconds. The development is not the part that matters the most. It's the selling of the cool thing that the thing built. Get really good at the selling of. And if you're right now, if you're not like, oh, I'm not in the need to sell. My favorite saying is build your well before you're thirsty. Okay? Build your well before you're thirsty. If you're chilling right now, man, my fridge is full, my bills are paid, I don't need nothing. Build your well before you're thirsty. Because guess what? When you launch a product, and if you tell everyone on your social media, I'm building something really cool, who wants to be the first one to check it out? Just that. Guess what? Whenever you have launched something cool, you're going to have 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 people that are like, I want to check out whatever cool you're building. And then you send them a message and you say, hey, look, check out this thing I built. It scrapes and crawls your website, $27 a month. If you want it, check it out. Or lifetime, it doesn't cost you ever again for $197. And you just made $200. How many sales do you need to make more money than you do currently in your job? 20, 50, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. On a lifetime deal, increase your lifetime price. I sold my AI team, the most I ever sold for a lifetime deal, $7,500 for a single lifetime login. That's it. $7,500. Someone paid, they got access. I got my money. They got their access. That's it. Clean. They love the software. They're still using it today. Nice. Check out this. I got 4 MacBooks that I bought for my family the day he paid. Christmas was fat that year. All I did was sell login access to my software. That is it. Nothing more. Like $7,500. So build the software. It might seem small at first. Over time, it gets bigger. Over time, you add more features. But get the first customer. Get launched. Build the audience before you're thirsty. Tell them you have something coming. Because these classes, you keep showing up and you take action when we're not on the call. Over the weekend, I don't work on the weekends. I build the stuff. I have fun on the weekends. And I build my life that I'm going to forever have. Stop playing a video game for 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 hours, and build this, right? Like, take something that you're doing the extra time and spend building a software. And literally, you're going to thank yourself in the future, right? Like, oh man, thanks, prior Jeff. And it adds up over time. Just build it a little every day, right? You see how fast my AI team creates. So any final questions for me today?
Now, just figure out those dates. And one thing that somebody used once, and gosh, it's not bubble, but I think it rhymes with that or sounds like that. Was kind of to I think my aunts told my mom about it to help select dates. So if say you have 20 people, you're like, hey, which dates work best for you? It's a good way to maybe figure out what works best for everybody before you set the dates. So, but yeah, I'm just interested in that. and the dates.
Nice. Okay. I'll get you the dates as soon as I can. I think it's August, September. I would love to have it early October. You know what I mean? Like early October would be legend. Give people time to plan the
Then
deals.
you got Halloween towards the end, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's why I said early. You know? I don't want to get to where it's too cold into Vegas, or also people have too much going on, you know? So I think early October might be it. I'll find the dates and I'll solidify it here shortly. I haven't even checked my Facebook of how many people are actually interested because I just offered it on my social media last night. If I do have like 20 people that say they're interested and I have 10 people that pay, I'm in, you know what I mean? We're doing it. So,
I just found it. It's you heard of Doodle?
I haven't know.
Doodle, DOODLE.
Okay.
And that's a way to kind of, I've done it before when you're trying to find out what works best for a group of people. You can give select dates, they choose, and then because otherwise you're just randomly going to pick a date and hope it works for the most people. You know, this way that's kind of involved. So check out Doodle.
Okay, cool. We'll do. All right, guys. I will see you next Tuesday. Excited for you guys to set up the website building API scraper. And if you guys need any help between now and then, message me on Facebook.
All right.
Love
Love
you.
you. Yeah.
Talk soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.